Hello everyone and welcome back to the DRT.com YouTube channel. Here with me today we have the modern round extending table Lawrence, available in a range of different finishes for the top, both practical and elegant. Let's dive in. Let's first turn our attention to the trestle base of the table, which is a base that consists of two parts, one on each side, giving optimal stability and support to the top. Now, this type of base is more often associated with the material solid wood. However, in this case, our table has a trestle base in metal. So this gives a modern twist to the more classic common wooden trestle base. The Lawrence dining room table is available in several dimensions. So we have the round composition, which can be extendable or fixed. This one here is extendable with a 130 centimeter diameter. Or you could instead choose from the four rectangular models in the dimensions 138 by 90, 160 by 90, 170 by 100, or 200 by 100 centimeters. This allows for maximum liberty when incorporating the table into your modern kitchen, dining room, or open living space. And an extendable table is truly the heart of convenience because it means that you can maximize the open space in the room when the table is closed and not completely in use, but at the same time it gives you the freedom to host large dinner parties. So how does the table actually extend? Well, this of course depends on whether you opt for a rectangular version or this round version of the Lawrence dining room table. And in the case of the rectangular version, it has concealed extension leaves under the table, which are then detached, extracted, and added on to the end to extend the tabletop. Now let's take a look at how this version extends. In order to extend the round table, one must separate the two crescent-shaped halves on the top by unlatching the mechanism underneath. When parted, they reveal the extension leaf that hides under the tabletop. By extracting this extension leaf and placing it securely in the center opening, the table extends to have a diameter of 180 centimeters. Notice that the lateral leaves are equipped with metal attachment pieces, ensuring that the tabletop is secure and perfectly connected when not in use. Now, it must be said that usually round tables have a diameter of about 120 to 125 centimeters, and therefore our version of the Lawrence dining room table with a diameter of 130 centimeters is slightly larger than usual. In order to close the table, simply detach the central extension leaf and replace it in its dedicated space under the tabletop. Slide the halves of the top closed, and when they are correctly connected, close the latch underneath for extra security. Now, when it comes to the materials and finishes for the top of the Lawrence extending dining room table, an important thing to keep in mind is that while there are many different materials and finishes available, all of which you can find on the DRT.com website, some of them are available only for certain tables. For example, one of the finishes that you can choose is shiny or matte lacquered glass, but this is only available for the rectangular versions of the table. So there are two special finishes that are available for all of the tables, and these are very, very practical and very stylish. So the two materials available for all versions of the Lawrence extending dining room table are STRATIFIED HPL and FENIX laminate. Now, STRATIFIED HPL stands for high pressure laminate, is created in a very different way compared to regular laminate tabletops. So usually in the creation of a laminate tabletop, a thin layer of laminate is placed on top of a wood particle base, which is a relatively soft base. However, in the case of STRATIFIED HPL, layers of laminate, almost a sandwich, are put together, creating a top that is very strong, durable, and resistant to damage. Now, in the case of the Lawrence tabletop, you can choose from 12 STRATIFIED HPL finishes on the DRT.com website, and these resemble fine stones, marbles, and even wood. Our tabletop here is in the STRATIFIED HPL grey pulpus, and it really does resemble a fine marble. And at the same time, it's very practical, resistant, and elegant. The second material is FENIX laminate, which is famous for two reasons. It is very durable and resistant, and it is characterized by a lovely texture and does not actually seem like laminate. The second reason is that it allows for the creation of a tabletop with a solid color, which appears to be lacquered. However, it is far more resistant and practical than a lacquered tabletop will be. In the case of the Lawrence table, you can choose a FENIX laminate top in Kos White, London Grey, or Ingo Black. Finally, you can of course also customize the metal trestle base and the metal guards of the extending mechanism, choosing from 5 different painted metal finishes. Our trestle base is in the finish anodized black, and I personally think that it pairs perfectly with the top in the Stratified HPL grey pulpus. We've come to the end of today's product review on the modern extending table Lawrence. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you want to catch more product reviews. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.